Ask yourself a question. What is social class? What comes to your mind when you think of social class?
What about a hit? What about a hit of your love? Start to shake with your hand. Will it ever click? Will it ever click? Are you a freak? You turn and face me. Maybe this time I'll choose. What about a hit?
We're going to talk about inequality and opportunity in America. Let's start by dividing the population up into 5 equally sized slices. If you're boring like me, you might call them quintiles. In an absolutely equal society where everybody had the same amount of money, each fifth of the distribution would get a fifth of the money. It would look like this. Of course, that's not how it is. In the real world, the bottom quintile, the bottom fifth, gets 5% of the money, and the top fifth get more than half the money. But I think in terms of fairness, and certainly in terms of American fairness, the question's less what's the gap between the bottom and the top, and it's more what are your chances of making it from the bottom to the top? How mobile is society? How far does where you're born on the ladder affect where you end up on the ladder?
We're not talking honestly about what it really takes to get from poverty to the middle class. So, for example, we know that only 4% of people who are born into poverty will ever make it to the upper middle class or to, have middle class success. And so what that means is that 96% of people are not making it out. And I think we're being dishonest when we say everybody has a fair and equal chance of achieving the American dream. When people think of poverty, they think about money and resources and cash. But a big part of poverty is the lack of social connections and social networks. And what we know is that those social networks and connections are really powerful in terms of helping people to navigate complex institutions and structures. And for poor people, those social networks are often missing. And when we talk about bridging from poverty to the middle class, social networks and social capital that are really important to making that leap.
As an adult yourself. So for them, it looks like this. If you're born at the bottom, born in this bottom fifth, but you're one of the few born down here who managed to get a 4-year college degree, transforms your chances of moving up the income distribution. Go to college.
The recent past has seen greater economic inequality in America than at any time since the Great Depression. In the 3 decades after World War II, American incomes grew quickly and equally. But starting in the late 1970s, things began to change. Today, 1% of Americans are taking home nearly 20% of the country's total income and own more than 35% of America's wealth. And it didn't happen by accident. It's the result of policy decisions on taxes, education, trade, labor, macroeconomics, and financial regulation, all of which shifted economic power away from low and moderate income American families.
Believes in a balance, that you should have progressive taxation, that as you get wealthier, your consumption, your income, your estate ought to be subject to much higher taxes than, say, the middle class. And, I personally think the U.S. could be even more progressive in that. But the thing most people would emphasize that is critical is the equal opportunity, that if the inner city schools are really, really good and the access to health so that that's not holding people back, or social services, if that's strong enough so that we can say, every kid has a near equal chance of becoming a lawyer or doctor, going to a good school,